and back and forth. Energy 5-4, not the record you would have expected for former world champions like Impact here. And they come in hoping that they can stay on top of against Echo Fox, but the world is right now Echo Fox's oyster.
Yeah, and even though we are officially now in the second half of the spring split, this is the first game Energy and Fox have actually played against each other because we had that unfortunate forfeit in week 2 between these two teams. So it'll be really exciting to see kind of Froggen against GBM and how that can play out.
Yeah.
Or how Energy can just maybe out-team play the rest of Echo Fox. A lot of unknowns, as you said, with this entire Echo Fox lineup. Technically speaking, Froggen and KFO are 2-1 as starters on the team.
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch here. In fact, both these teams have similar struggles as well in that they're multilingual teams, and you've got to sort of translate or make it be known to the Korean players what's going on here for both these squads. And it will be fun to watch. Another Rise ban actually added by Froggen. So, interestingly, he banned that yesterday as well, I believe, up against Renegades, and still dropping it out here. Or not Rise, sorry, Zed is what I meant to say.
Yeah, well, there was a Zed ban actually against...
I could have sworn it was Froggen doing it because I remember I gave the anecdote of him telling me that he was good at Zed, and yet they banned it yet again. So I find that interesting.
You're absolutely right about that. So again, they banned Zed. I think it's just because they are afraid of Zed in mid against Corki. Zed has really good all-in against Corki at level 6, and you really don't want to be building heavy health or heavy armor.
Or Zonias or something.
Exactly. So they were planning on first picking it. It wasn't banned on the other side, and that really just feels like the game plan.
Of course, that does mean they give away the Gangplank, and last time it was Impact who played the champion to not much success. But either way, Impact and GBM both known as very good Gangplank players. Energy taking their time in the next round of picks right here. I actually do think Udyr is quite strong, but I don't expect to be seeing it early on, if at all, in Champion Select, and it will be Braum instead.
I apologize in advance, but if we see an Udyr in an LCS game that I'm casting...
You are about this.
I am going to be talking about Udyr for mostly the entire game.
It will be like Zyrene and Kobe combined when Vi's in the game. Like, I am ready for this. I'll let you go. Let me know the topics, and I'll open them for you. Echo Fox, now on their side of the picks and bans, as Braum and Gangplank definitely are two very strong champions to deal with.
Yeah, the question with this Gangplank will be, will GBM actually get to play it? A lot of people think GBM's an amazing mid-lane Gangplank. He's had some great games on it in the past, but last time they picked Gangplank, they did throw it top lane on Impact and ended up losing that game. They had a zillion mid, never really found the right team fights or communication. It didn't look like Impact's Gangplank was bad, but it just didn't work well with the overall team comp.
Well, we've been talking about the story of Altec just not really being part of the fights, and if Impact's splitting all game long, then who's doing the damage in the 4-on-4s and the 4-on-5s? Echo Fox taking their time with this phase of the picks and bans, and right now hovering Graves and Janna, which will be locked in here. So a very backline-focused team, a disengaged support for Big, double marksman, maybe even triple, since Corki's such a common mid laner, and Graves is a common jungler.
It's also kind of interesting. We have been seeing a rise in prominence for Braum because he is both good with multiple marksmen to proc the stun, and also great against multiple marksmen because they can't shoot past his shield very well. So even with the Braum locked in, they still go for 2 of them, and it's most likely looking like it could be a very easy triple marksman. You know, the Zed ban kind of telegraphs a Corki mid lane. Graves could be going most likely in the jungle, which still leaves the actual AD carry position for Keith to pick another one.
I'm waiting for the Quadra marksman, okay? Quinn is still up, Lucian's still up. You could just go ham, and Janna just keeps 4 squishies alive. I'm ready for that comp to show up. It's unlikely here. Lucian gets taken away right now by Altec. Could be very successful for him. And now to make that last pick for Energy.
What's funny is Quinn's a good top lane against Gangplank. If that was the way it worked, but they can't guarantee that lane matchup, and Impact could always pull out a Malphite with the last pick, which you definitely don't want to have a bunch of marksmen in with. I like the Eve, though, for Moon.
Yeah, Moon was actually very, very good Evelynn back on his time with Imagine in the Challenger Series. I think it was one of his best champions, and I'm actually surprised we haven't seen much Runic Echoes Evelynn. I think it's very strong, though. Yeah,
it scales pretty well. I think it's also fairly farm-dependent early on. You have to get some successful ganks off. And also there are far more pink wards in pro play than you would ever see in solo queue.
Very true.
It's kind of like a hidden nerf to Eve is the fact that you can't buy normal wards anymore, but you can buy pink wards.
Right.
So there's a bunch of pink wards in the map, and those are very effective against Evelynn.
Right,
But we'll be seeing Moon on it here, which is exciting.
That is going to be a whole bunch of fun to watch for. And we'll see Energy are leaving that Gangplank up as a flex pick here, so we'll see where that ends up going with their final champion. And, of course, that also allows them to make sure his matchup isn't too bad. Echo Fox also have to decide where that Gangplank is, where that Graves as well as where that Corki goes, as those roles are still open. Caitlyn is being hovered here, and the Malphite for the top lane for KFO. So Froggen, I believe, with now 2 Corki games in a row, if I believe properly, went unkilled last time and was the star player of the team. And once again, a very similar composition. In fact, the same Caitlyn, the same Corki, and the same Malphite from yesterday.
And I like the fact that they are going with the Malphite here. It actually makes me a little bit surprised that Energy didn't pick it earlier when we think about how good Malphite would be against 2 or 3 auto attack champions. Even though Corki does do magic damage, it was a guaranteed pretty much 2 physical damage range champions. And it's not like anyone was taking Evelynn away, so Energy could have given away their solo lane configurations in order to get the Malphite, but now they absolutely have no option.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said for leaving that up, though. I think Gangplank does very well into Malphite as a matchup. You have all that armor penetration just in the kit by itself, even some true damage, and I actually think letting them go for this and getting the matchup there could be good, but they actually don't go for that at all. Looks like it will be Maokai up in the top lane here for Impact. GBM will get to play the Gangplank mid, so we get to see that for the first time here in North America. Some say he's actually the best Gangplank in the world. I want to see if that happens here for GBM. I find Corki to be a hard matchup for him, but it will be fun to watch GBM face off with Froggen here.
Yeah, and it's not like Impact's Maokai is a slouch either.
No,
just
of course
not really in meta right now, so they'll have to have some pretty hard initiation from the Maokai and the Evelynn. Gangplank can get a bunch of damage up, but it has to be lined up just right, otherwise it falls pretty short. And then Altec has to be a damage contributor in this game, which is still difficult against the Malphite. So big challenges coming up for Energy, and also I think a solid composition for Echo Fox.
And it's funny, it's Energy running the same kind of composition they did yesterday. It's a tank from the top lane, a tank from the support, and then everyone else is on a damage roll. Moon is yet again on a damage champion. He was on Kindred yesterday. He's on Evelynn. I have to assume with the Runic Echoes here and probably more ability power as well on this Evelynn. So once again, the middle 3 members of Energy are the damage dealers, and as these coaches walk off and shake hands with the compositions they hope they like here, it's going to be a very interesting matchup of Energy hoping they can stay on the top half of the standings, but Echo Fox certainly can now challenge for a playoff spot here. If you guys at home think it's going to happen, then you can join us here on Twitter. Tweet at LoLeSports, hashtag FOXWin or hashtag NRGWin. For which team you think it's going to be. Echo Fox 2-1 with this lineup could start moving quickly up the standings and really challenging for a playoff spot. Meanwhile, Energy, only 1 win more than loss. They've not doing quite as well as they would expect coming into the split. Moon said top 3 is the bare minimum. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, currently they are sitting in 5th, so they also have some work to do as this season progresses. And on Echo Fox's side, there is that renewed vigor since they have their full roster. I remember last year in the summer split, TDK had a similar thing where they had a lot of issues before they get their final team. They finally get their full roster. They win their first game, and people are thinking, oh, my God.
Oh, the miracle season.
Is this team going to come wreck people? And Echo Fox is technically in a similar situation, although with a little bit less fanfare. We'll see, though, because it is technically a team that we have not seen before, but they have been practicing together. So a very real wild card here that Energy has to play against.
Well, already off on the wrong foot. Energy have killed the Trinket Ward. They got themselves 10 gold. That goes to Altec. So Altec has the highest gold in the game right now. If he doesn't carry...
Yeah, 10 more than anyone else.
Whew, couldn't even buy anything with that.
There's nothing in the shop that you can buy for 10 gold.
Oh, Moon gets spotted out.
Oh.
That's interesting, actually. You put
Who
2
placed
trinkets
those
down.
2 wards? I mean,
so
I imagine you place 2 trinkets down. It could actually be...
On purpose.
On purpose, because if both people auto-attack, they can get the 3 hits on the ward. But at the same time, it was Moon and Impact who have been not the best at synergizing together, but, you know, neither ward ended up getting killed, so turned into a wasted ward, but... I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind placing double wards there.
Yeah, I think it's actually very
oftentimes
smart.
the ward does get killed.
Yeah, I think it was the right choice. It didn't end up mattering, but we now start with this game. Echo Fox are starting with their dual lane on the bot side alongside their jungler. Actually, no, sorry. In the enemy bot side jungle.
Yeah,
I got my colors wrong briefly.
It's a double invade. So it's the strong side of the map. Both teams have designated their strong side by sending more people on that part of the map. There's Echo Fox pushing down bottom. They're going to be able to take turrets very quickly if they decide to go immediately for the bottom turret, or they have the chance to loop back into their own jungle. What I would want to see, actually, is to have the jungler continue in the jungle and have 3 people push the wave. But there are still a lot of options here, whether or not they want to try and freeze the lane for the AD carry to take, or if they want to go for a fast push. But when it's this clear of a strong side, weak side, you normally don't see too much tomfoolery. Froggen is pushed up pretty far, though.
And Concon gets some damage down and actually gets the slow, but it doesn't mean too much.
And that's an example of why ganks are so hard to do when the map is split exactly like this. Because even though Froggen knows there's 4 people missing on the other side of the map, he can run directly into the fog of war in his river because he knows there's nobody down there.
Exactly. And he hugs that side of the lane in the start in the first place. So Braum walks across the lane to even put the Q in. And Braum's like, yeah, I've seen this before. And all is well. So mid laners holding pretty equal in farm. GBM slightly behind, and you're going to expect to see that in a matchup like this. Moon still clearing the jungle pretty damn fast. Did open with refillable potion on both these junglers, actually. And in a lane swap scenario, you don't really need the regular health potions at all. You're durable enough with the top laner tanking for you.
Absolutely. Evelynn actually takes a fair bit of damage early on, normally in a solo jungle scenario. So a lane swap, I think, actually favors Evelynn for the very early game. As far as pace of taking the top turret, though, you would expect Energy to be a little bit slower because they tried that little detour mid lane, but they actually are the ones to take it first.
And a different style as well. They've got about 8 minions still alive as they knock that turret down, so they're going to push that and crash it into that second turret here. Echo Fox doing the standard freeze. This is the normal timing, 3 minutes, 40 seconds. At the end of the day, if no one shows up, it's the same numbers of minions dying. It's just handled differently.
Yeah, and it also meant that Energy didn't have to wait as long to kill the turret because there's a lot of delay you have to go through if you're waiting for the turret to bounce the wave for you.
I would have loved to see KFO TP to that tier 2 turret, though. If he didn't think it was going to get dived, there's like 9 caster minions to kill for XP.
Exactly.
That's a big if. If they are there, you die for that.
It looks like he's trying to soak experience in the bottom lane, though. Here's that sneaky Evelynn.
Froggen doesn't know the Moon's behind him with
nice
the red
angle.
buff. And there's a whole bunch of damage, still taking a bunch of burns. Froggen could die. Moon with the red buff on nearly takes him out. Summon heal, not quite required, to be honest. But still painful.
I think Froggen was worried about a flash Q since the red buff had taken him so low and Moon still had flash up, so it was more of a safety heal there since the red buff was taking him pretty low. Love the angle that Moon took there. He was right on the very edge of Evelynn's stealth detection range the whole time he was going around Froggen and was able to get damage down on him kind of through the duration of Froggen's Valkyrie away. And that's very important for that mid lane matchup between Gangplank and Corki, because Corki is a bully early on in the lane, especially against Gangplank, who can't really match the harass. That gank goes a long way in equalizing that lane.
Really big deal here. So yeah, suddenly the CS is equal in that mid lane, and GBM's got to feel happy about this one. Bot lane and top lane being pushed kind of in equal parts here as the tri-lanes kind of move back to the other sides of the map, and these should be pretty equal turret trades. Hard says, you guys got enough damage. I'm going to go farm some more and take some Krugs away. And Echo Fox should have no problem knocking this turret down here, just as Energy are doing on the other side of the map.
Jungler's got to make sure they're getting the farm whenever they have the opportunity to, since the turrets are going to be traded anyways. So at the end of the day, it is going to be the minion differences that matter most. So far, it's been quite equal, though.
Yep. Altec will not share gold on that turret. 345 for impact. So even though they only have like 2 CS and 3 CS to the 44, gold is actually much closer for the top laners because they're getting so much more local gold. They've been gifted that in both of these turret takes. It's almost like 200 gold worth. You're seeing 1,700 to 2,100. Not that far apart, actually, on these two champions.
Their CS is support-like, but their gold is about 300 higher than the supports.
Yeah.
One thing we do have to point out, though, is Keith has gone for Cull in his second game in a row. He's actually done Doran's into Cull.
I think it's really smart in lane swap games. I really, really think that build is very great. So Keith will be quite powerful the second round in this lane swap here. Altec has a Coalfields Warhammer, which is the same amount of attack damage, but one's got a Cull now on top of it.
It's true. Is that?
25 for that and pickaxe.
Oh, yeah, of course. If we're counting the pickaxe.
Yeah. I mean, comparing those items, and Coalfields is more expensive, which is the money that Keith spent on Cole, and then it kind of trickles into this scenario. Moon trying to clear a pink ward that is in the defensive Echo Fox jungle. And look at this, a ton of deep wards already put down by Energy in this bot side of the map. Putting down wards that match their uniforms, pink wards all over this jungle.
Well, finally, the teams haven't mirrored each other with this move. And Energy's actually looking to push the tempo pretty hard here, with Impact being in the bottom lane. But they can't catch anyone transitioning through the jungle, so since they did take jungle camps, they're not going to lose out huge on this one, but it would have been kind of a failed play if they didn't take the jungle camps on the way.
Yeah. So, bottom jungle completely cleared of monsters, and we'll see if the wards stay for much longer here. But Energy still with a lot of power on the bot side. They shoved the wave in already, which means they have control over this dragon. They can see if a jungler shows up. They can see if the bot lane shows up. No one does. A pretty low opportunity cost dragon right here.
Yeah, even with Impact teleporting in the top lane. So now we may see the lanes turn a little bit more standard, but those side lanes become much more dangerous, and Vision becomes even more of a priority, which I feel like favors the Evelynn and the Gangplank teams.
Yeah.
They have more unknown presence, so to speak, and it's very hard to cover this large of an area with proper pink ward coverage to stop what is soon to be a level 6 Evelynn.
This is going to be very scary. So Moon did go for Stalker's Blade here, so he has an extra slow to add to the kit since Evelynn doesn't really have one outside of the ultimate, and otherwise has rushed a Sightstone early on, so still being fairly supportive on this Evelynn build, making sure that he has the gank pressure from the smite, but also still the wards you expect out of your jungler.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you would expect to see from an Evelynn, but in the pro game, it looks like they're using Evelynn as that roaming ward bot at least early, because until she gets Runic Echoes, she's not going to have much power in any types of dueling scenarios, especially against the Graves.
Yeah,
now gone multiple long swords. Yep. And those 2 long swords are less than the cost of the Sightstone, but give far more combat effect.
Absolutely true. KFO and Impact doing battle up in the top lane. This is a matchup that I feel like player skill being equal would favor Impact, but on top of that, Impact, of course, is a stellar player in his own right. So I think a difficult situation for KFO. Froggen jettisoning his way back into this mid lane here and saying, hey, GBM, by the way, I can hit you with bombs and stuff. You should be careful. Orange is seemingly doing exactly the opposite of what bombs would do, putting himself right back up where it was. Hard, slowly clearing away pink wards with a shotgun.
2 full reloads required, or you have to use your quick draw to get a 3rd shot in one of the chambers. It's so painful for Graves to clear pink wards. It would have been really dangerous if Froggen hadn't pushed GBM out of lane before going to that side brush, since Eve was still kind of off the map.
He's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Echo Fox running through with this Raptor buff, and they know that no one's around here, but it's a pretty hefty push into this mid lane. And if they can knock down the barrels, they can't actually. Nice explosion there by GBM. Gets rid of many of these minions. Echo Fox will only get so much damage done here. They've got to walk away once again, but using Echo Fox, letting the bot lane stay alone, so Altec immediately pushes in, culls the wave. Very smart by him. Yeah,
quite an expensive push when we consider there are 4 people there for about half the turret's health, and GBM still has ultimate to clear the next wave if they wanted to persist there. Gives Altec a nice amount of time to clear some minions bottom wave, and Fox is trying to make up for that. KFO does have ultimate to flash follow. Impact will be in a bit of trouble. He's got to clear some distance here.
Jumps in, takes a fair bit of damage in a hard, but really no more mana left on Impact. He's got nowhere to go. He could try to fight KFO, but again, without mana, that's not going to be a kill unless some teammates show up, and that will be a kill. Froggen snipes it with the rocket just to make sure he gets the money. First blood, Echo Fox.
Yeah, the kill actually handed to Froggen right there. He had roamed up. He wasn't necessary for the kill secure, but now he will be taking that gold mid lane. Goes to show you the priorities of Fox right there. It's a kill secure. Froggen could have pushed up mid, created more overall map pressure, and given the gold to a Graves or a Malphite who still have pretty decent carry potential, but it has to be on Froggen right here. He now has the majority of the gold for Echo Fox.
Well, that's the thing, Jet, though, is like it seems like most of these Echo Fox games are Froggen focused. I look back to their week 1, day 1 game where they did nothing unless Lissandra, played by Froggen, went in and they followed up. Here on Corki, they've shown up to his lane multiple times, tried to get a gank off, tried to knock the turret down. Nice hit by Froggen. That would have been huge. Wow, outplays them both. Nicely played by Froggen, knocking the barrels. Yeah. And now Moon just walks sadly away. Gets level up from stealing some of the minions here, but...
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty strong for Echo Fox thus far. They've gotten around any sneaky Evelynn ganks early on. Of course, Evelynn doesn't have Runic Echoes or boots yet, so she's pretty slow walking around the map. Not exactly the best world for an Evelynn to live in. Also, you're not expecting much early pressure from a Gangplank mid lane, but maybe you would expect some turret dives with the Evelynn and the Maokai. Hasn't happened, and Fox has been the one pushing the tempo here. They actually have every lane pushed, and Energy almost forced to think about doing something. They do have Culling and Gangplank's ultimate and Eve ultimate if they really need to clear this turret in a pinch.
And there's the GP ulti. Yep, there's the first one burned. But however, it's a cannon wave. There's the Culling as well. Big tanks it up, but still really too much damage dealt to the minions. No push available. Altec eats a cupcake. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't know if it was pink frosting or not, but actually, no, it's not.
No,
so
not
unfestive cupcakes.
No, it's actually a Yordle Snaptrap.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no enhanced theme here.
That's too bad. Mash missed out. It's okay. Sorry. Keith missed out. Moving forward, though, Impact and KFO once again in a battle in the top side. Yet again, Hard is here to do some damage, and it forces not only a flash, but the start of a TP for GBM.
Yeah, cancel teleport, so it will be on a 200-second cooldown instead of a 300-second cooldown, so not as bad as you would think, but still pretty bad. Impact was pushed up beyond his ward line, which is kind of strange. There's a huge lack of wards by Energy right now, considering they're running 2 Sightstones and had a Sightstone rush invisible jungle.
Yeah.
It's actually Echo Fox who has the vastly superior vision control. It's what allowed Hard to go through there, and they have the camps themselves warded in the red jungle, so they would see Moon if he walked through there to clear any jungle camp. It's giving them a lot of freedom right here.
Yep. Speaking of freedom, GBM's not getting a lot in his mid lane here. He's constantly being attacked, pushed under the turret in his lane, and his barrel's often shot down before he can get last hits with them. So falling behind Froggen a little bit. Some of that being that Keith is taking Froggen CS in the mid lane here. The team really pushing together as much as they can. And this turret might go down on this wave if they can't defend it. You've got 4 members in this lane, and the Corki's not far away, so the entirety of Echo Fox are here to knock this turret down.
Yeah.
I'll taking some poke, but Big getting hit for that.
And Energy is going to have to be willing to force team fights. They cannot let Echo Fox set up in front of turrets, especially once Keith gets a few more levels, because then he can max his traps, put 5 traps down right in front of a turret, and make initiation very difficult for Energy. And Energy does have tools to do so.
Yeah.
You can flank around the backside. Impact, you'd want some home guard teleports. And that's kind of what this game is going to be coming down to, with triple marksman on Echo Fox setting up siege lines versus Energy trying to create the initiations. But currently, Energy isn't willing to go.
And there's also like no tools for Energy, right? Like Righteous Glory is not done. We're 6 minutes away from home guard. Conquan's level 4 on Braum from how much he's roamed. There are no engage tools right now. Okay, Moon 6 GBM ulti's back now, but those are some slows? That's not a great way to start a team fight right here. So Echo Fox pushing the siege as soon as they can. However, it does give away some dragon controls for Energy, getting their second uncontested.
Yeah, with all that being said, Energy just kind of meanders down and takes a dragon, and they actually don't even have to trade the mid-turret for it since Impact stayed up. You would expect that Echo Fox would have been able to trade that dragon time for a mid-lane turret, but instead they move Keith bottom lane to just accumulate some more farm. It does allow him to catch up with Altec, who was about 20 CS ahead of him earlier in the game, but it still gives away that second dragon, which will technically be stacking up.
Yep.
And it's pretty early for 2 dragons as well. 14 minutes, 40
Very
seconds
early.
means 5 dragons could be a very real thing in this game.
Something to watch out for sure. GBM getting poked around by Froggen, who's wearing a blue buff. GBM just got his own not long ago. We track the gold leads because I think that's very important and a way to track who's doing very well in this game. It is only 800 up for Echo Fox, but keep in mind, that's counting all the free gold Gangplank gets for being Gangplank. So in terms of playing the map and getting farm, Echo Fox are winning by more than you would expect from the scoreboard.
Yeah. While I do agree that Gangplank's gold is an inflated number, it's not like Gangplank has poor gold conversion.
True.
Right? It's not like a champion.
It is still gold.
It's not like a champion who has 1,000 AP but bad AP ratios. No, Gangplank has really great ratios and just gets more money to buy the great items for him. So I think the gold description in this game is accurate. It's just the fact that,
That's fair.
Gangplank is really strong, so he just gets more money.
Yeah. In terms of effort put in, Echo Fox is like, they've killed more of the minions.
Effort, but other teams
but it is close.
Has Gangplank checkmark.
Checkmark,
So
game is close.
that helps.
All right, I think we've solved that puzzle for now. Energy once again taking away these neutral objectives. They've gotten 2 dragons uncontested. Now it's time for Rift Herald. That should be an easy pickup as well. And honestly, Energy just, okay, they're not sieging, but they're playing the rest of the map just fine. And they've still kept this outer turret alive.
Yeah, the longer they keep this turret alive, the longer they can continue playing this game. And Echo Fox hasn't been able to set up any appropriate sieges. In fact, every time Echo Fox has moved for the siege, Energy has moved for a side objective.
Yeah.
Now, though, 3 traps in front of the turret. The turret is very low.
Yep.
Turret advantage.
There we go. Turret advantage comes through. 2,000 gold lead for Echo Fox as a result of the farm and the first blood and the turret. Hard will grab a nice smite there, take down the red buff, and Echo Fox doing a good job of actually running into the jungle at least a little bit here. Moon is the one wearing the Doom's Eve buff, so runs fast, does bonus damage, and buffs minions. Actually gives away that he's around via buffing the minions.
That is true.
Echo Fox can actually know that he's there.
Be like, who? Somebody had
Righteous
this
Glory popped. Wow, just for positioning.
Righteous Glory's up. Runic Echo is up. Energy's trying to get this turret right back, but
Yeah, but whoa! 4-man ulti from KFO, and look at the slaughter. 1 for 0, 2 for 0. How about more of a chase here? Trying to run away, they do bypass the cupcakes, but more burst comes out. Froggen, one more rocket, 3 kills picked up. KFO with the huge initiation.
Holy moly, freak. Fox looking like the team who has had their team together the whole LCS split right there. Energy lackadaisically walks up towards the turret, grouping up without any strong form of initiation. One Righteous Glory goes off, then a Gangplank ultimate goes off. It's not synced with any type of ultimate. And here comes KFO from the side, and everyone on Fox strikes as one.
They just thought they could push them off the turret and hit it for free, but Malphite's right there. And they see him.
They see him. So they're 4-man Malphite ultimate in full view of the team. No one flashing back and nothing to stop him from flying in. The Gangplank does get off his barrels, but he's not strong enough yet to do one of those full team one-shots. And at this point, Fox can just easily walk up towards Energy and pick up the last kill.
And the last hit by Conquad, he knows he's going to go down. Jukes back and forth, hoping to dodge a rocket, but it's not going to be for anything. So a 3 for 0. Turret saved, and actually mid lane tier 2 did go down afterwards as a result. So Echo Fox really pushing very far ahead with this game. 4,000 up, and that's pretty solid.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Froggen continues to be really good at this game.
Yep.
Jumps away from the second activation of Righteous Glory on Maokai. He's fine.
Yeah, had his package up, so was free to play very aggressively. Multiple Super Valks away.
Keith was part of that fight, kind of.
We can see, obviously, Froggen, whenever you have a Malphite set up like that, the AoE damage from Corki is immense. Just yesterday, Cloud9 had the same Malphite Corki combo, and guess what? In the mid lane, they did both of the things, and they killed the team in a mid-game team fight. That's the mid-game power spike you want to be able to capitalize on in this game, and it's what Energy actually walks straight into. We haven't seen Moon using his stealth on Evelynn to any sort of advantage. Not like one gank early on to make sure Froggen didn't completely destroy GBM in the mid lane. That's about it.
Well, we heard Moon talk about the Korean style of jungling from his time practicing over there. These junglers rush a Sightstone before their jungle item. They're all about supporting the lanes and getting the vision up, but he got the wards up but didn't really support the lane in any meaningful way. No one got kills off.
Here we go, though. Impact has teleport, and Moon is technically in flank position while Fox is pushing. If there was a time to engage on 3 marksmen and Ghana,
right now.
it's now.
The TP's coming in, Gangplank in the bottom right. The team is very split, which means KFO has no easy ulti. There's the catch-up by Impact, and Big goes down before doing anything. Glacial Fissure also buying a lot of time. But another ulti! He catches 2 more! That's a whole bunch of kills for Echo Fox. They knocked down everybody but GBM. A double kill for KFO. And once again, the engage is on point.
That was the time for Energy to try and make the engage, but Fox just plays better. They have the mid-game power spikes. They had the Aegis completed onto the Janna. They had the Trinity Force power spike on their Corki in the mid lane, and KFO landed yet another massive unstoppable force despite their own team getting flanked on.
Yeah. Massive stuff here. Echo Fox got to feel real good about that fight. 6,000 gold up, and we can watch that yet again.
Yeah, so the Gangplank ultimate is terribly placed in this fight, which is not the type of Gangplank ultimate you expect from the best Gangplank in the world there. KFO with another massive ultimate, comboed with Froggen, and GBM bad ultimate. Impact hasn't looked very good this game. We talk about how Energy needs those 2 to carry for them to win the game. Well, both those guys are actually having bad games right now, and it's really showing that Energy doesn't have anything left after that.
Yeah, no, they're really far behind now with damage dealers that don't have any really major items right now. You're seeing Keith already get a full 2 items off this Caitlyn. That's going to feel really good. The smattering of things after S3 for Altsec, like, the damage really is not there. GBM still doing his best to farm.
Yeah,
Maybe on IE.
You can make the argument of GBM being the best Gangplank in the world after so far this game. It's one game.
Sure.
That's some pretty bad ultimate placements
Completely agree.
so far in this game. And the ultimate is also a team effort. This team just is not gelling whatsoever this game on Energy. You can put the Gangplank ultimate down, but that has to be right when Evelynn goes in as well, because you hit the Evelynn first on top of Gangplank ultimate, hit them down, or a Maokai needs to center someone down, root them for a few seconds on top of that, and then you get the barrows from there. But everything is out of sync.
Yep.
Whereas Echo Fox, who has had the misfortune of playing with substitutes pretty much the whole year, is looking really sharp.
Absolutely. This is really good. EchoFox certainly have sharpened their teeth in this one and are ready to keep moving forward. Froggen wearing double buffs, looking for the top lane, but a quick cull by Altec gets rid of the minions, so nothing to do here. Altec yet again, really, really high minion numbers, 198. He's getting farm really well, but like,
yeah,
this isn't even Altec's fault, to be fair, right? This is like, his team dies so fast, how do you put up persistent damage in AD carry? But
I think this is actually a pretty good call so far by Energy, though. GBM pushing bottom lane, has his teleport in case things go really badly, clears with his ultimate, and there is no one to respond to him. KFO was there for the initiation. This is going to be a 1-for-0 turret trade in the favor of Energy.
Very nice defense, good job, and of course now it's looking like Gangplank's going to stay down here. No one is recalled from EchoFox that I can see. They're staying top lane. They're going to give him some inhibitor turret damage for this.
KFO is currently recalling, but he's pretty slow on that move. It is on top of a pink ward, though, and he has been in the fog for quite some time, so GBM has to back off, and Energy did not want to get flank initiated since they had lost control in their own jungle. Now maybe they try for another one, but this would be an engage without a Gangplank ultimate.
This is a chance of a 4v5, though. Malphite would have to TP to get in, and instead the inhib turret goes down before anything even stops them. Conco gets chunked before anything even happens, and now it's, well, you don't have anyone energy left.
You have such a small amount of time to act when you have a Caitlyn, Corki, and Graves all battering down your turret, even with the Janna shield to empower it right there. And I can see why Energy would be trepid about that initiation, because they have gone so poorly thus far. And Malphite still could teleport in for a follow-up initiation, and Energy hasn't been able to lock anyone down cleanly. Moon's still trying for a flank, though, and it's tricky because he knows there are pink wards in the deep jungle of EchoFox, so if he actually wanted to get a good flank, he would be spotted out and focused right away.
Well, a couple recalls for EchoFox. Hard actually by himself right here, so you know, a couple people kind of slinking along by themselves. Good smite, gets it, no problem. Moon, I believe, got partially spotted while doing this. Of course, mid lane inhibitor already dead. Top lane inhibitor has no turret left, so EchoFox have some easy targets for their next round of pushing. Froggen is currently down. EchoFox did get the last one after their previous teamfight victory, so they've got those stats. It's got to feel good for them. GBM playing the farm, gives best he can, has another upgrade available for his ultimate. That's what that nice, glorious coin sound was.
Something we have to keep in mind with this game is Energy still has Gangplank. And that champion is bonkers in the late game. Even if there's a huge goal discrepancy, if he can land a barrel combo on anyone,
multiple squishies of this team.
And if he manages to land one on 3 or 4, the fight could be over right there if he gets a few more items in.
40% crit chance, could do almost 1,000 damage before resistances. It could be real scary. EchoFox have to respect the threats of Energy because they are real. One bad team fight turns us all around. The Energy can take over the map.
It would have to be a very good barrel chain, though, because one luxury that EchoFox has, especially with a rapid-fire cannon Caitlyn, they have a lot of people to actually kill the barrels. That GBM will be trying to shoot. And a real flank being attempted here, trying super hard, but the ward coverage in Fox's jungle is just so good.
Really nice by them. Tracker's Knife on Hard and a Sight Stone from Big. And they're going to be just fine. Package does not get used to any meaningful gain, just walks him away, but Froggen at half health will want to recall. Mid inhibitor did respawn, and Energy managed to weather that storm. They remain only about 6,000 gold down. This is, you know, a comebackable gold lead, or deficit if you take the position of Energy here. And the farm is actually being completely sacrificed from Impact and given to both GBM and Altec. Both these guys at about 240 right now. Impact hasn't gotten minions in a while. Only 102 CS at 25 minutes.
He is really, really low income this game. He's been either trying to teleport in on the backside and losing the fight so he doesn't get any gold that way. And then the late game insurance for this Energy team is, well, we need damage dealers. So it's Altec and GBM who get all the farm. All the side lane farm is going to the Gangplank. And when you consider the fact that Moon played the early game with the Sight Stone as well, it's really only 2 major contributors to any of these team fights. But on the other side, like, no matter what happens with the gold, it's going to be tough because Hard has been able to fast farm the jungle. KFO has actually been getting his fair share of side lane farm as well as some big team fight contributions. So we're talking 4 threats against 2 threats. And since Malphite is so tanky, it's not even that big of a difference in tank line, which puts Energy at a really big disadvantage.
And keep in mind also, EchoFox are about to have 3 rapid-fire cannons in terms of hitting these turrets down for a while. The Graves has finished his. Keith on Caitlyn's had his for a while, and Froggen's getting that next year on this Corki. Dragon number 2 picked up pretty cleanly, 26 minutes in, so the threat of Dragon 5 for Energy is long gone here as Echo Fox have maintained map control.
Yep.
I don't expect the game to take that much longer anyway. If it does go Echo Fox's way, they would win in the sort of near term. Energy would require multiple fights to come back, but of course anything is possible.
Yeah, the later the game goes, the fewer fights you would need to actually turn the game.
Very
so
true.
It's important that Echo Fox do something kind of quickly because they have 2 explosion inhibitors. They've recalled the buy on multiple occasions here.
Setting up a Baron bait.
This would be the time they'd want to fight.
Right to Glory pop, and yes!
Nice catch.
He catches hard with the flash, there's a shutdown! A great kill, and that is the jungler, which means there is no smite fight available. Energy go for another Baron bait,
yeah,
but
well,
they keep...
No flash or Righteous Glory on Impact this time, so it'd actually have to be Moon that would be behind them here, and that's not the path he has taken. He's not setting up for a full team fight. And even 5v4, it looks like Fox is playing fairly confidently.
They save the ultis that aren't named the culling, so tools are there. Moon chunked to 600 health, though. He wanted to go in, but got spotted out by Keith, and Keith fearless! Oh, no! He wants to kill Moon! Oh, he flashed the way. No, Impact knocked up by Big, slowed down by the Malphite, down to half HP. He's going to be left alone as a sacrificial tree chopped down for Timber, and Echo Fox get one right back in a 4v5. What happened?
It was so good until it was so bad for Energy because they had a Baron bait while down 6,000 to 7,000 gold, and then they just one by one walk in front of a turret and Caitlyn with no threat to initiate. So of course Keith is going to return fire. Moon nearly dies, Impact actually dies, and now the catch has turned into an open inhibitor and a 5v4 for Echo Fox.
And the chance for Barrel Chain is gone yet again. They keep getting knocked down right on time. There we go, that one goes through, but hits nobody, so who even cares? 4 barrels used for nothing by GBM. Mid inhibitor goes down, and then now 5v4 in the favor of Echo Fox, and they can walk to bot lane tier 2. I don't see this being contested in any meaningful way.
Yeah, they actually decide to not go for the next open inhibitor because they don't actually have very good pink ward coverage within the jungle of Energy, and the one way Energy comes back is with a well-positioned flank and flank teleport.
Ooh.
Or with the barrels,
Yep.
just like that. But this is a safer turret, so to speak, to take than it would be an open inhibitor in the base, just because of the danger of getting flanked by Evelynn and Maokai.
Absolutely, but props to GBM, a great barrel chain right there, saves the day for now. You're seeing more critical strands being tacked on by GBM. Essence Reaver gets bought from just a longsword and a cloak of agility, so now max CDR now on this gangplank. That build is 40%, 60% crit chance, heavily high attack damage. GBM is in full gangplank power mode right now. It is scary to face this champion.
Time to redeem himself if he's able to pull this one back on Gangplank with pretty much the odds completely stacked against him. It's him and Altec, the only 2 people with gold on Energy.
Yeah.
But because of all the extra gold he's been able to farm with Parlay, he is actually 25 gold shy of Froggen. So he's even with Froggen, despite the 4 kills that Froggen has accumulated. Plundered 1,495 gold on Gangplank to this point. So that will only go up. Oh, now it's 1,543.
Yep.
Because
you
at
got
this
the parlay.
point, plunders the whole wave at a time.
There's last ulti upgrade now, so Raise morale is going to be in, keep the team running forward, and that's nice to have, right? When Maokai jumps in, now you can all run, you know, alongside and maybe catch up to people. Cooldown boots picked up. Oh, sorry, on Lucian, I got myself turned around for a second. Yeah, normal builds here.
So he'll be hitting very high, about 40% CDR, close to on Altec.
Yep, 40% CDR on Altec as well, 40% CDR on this Gangplank. The pieces of items still coming through for Impact, Glacial Shroud plus a Spectre's Cowl. But here comes the top lane push right here. 6,000 gold remains the lead here for Echo Fox.
This fight is heavily about whether or not GBM can get the right barrel chain and a good ultimate placement because it is so powerful.
Shield on the key. Golden goes through and knocks down most of this minion wave. They're still going to watch out for the flanks. Here's the teleport in from Homeguard Maokai. Moon gets a slow down, but there's no team. There's the GP ulti. There's a knockout by Konquan. This is the fight they have to win, but in goes KFO, stuns the backline. Konquan goes down. Impact goes next. They can just kill the tanks first, and now who's going to stand up for Energy anymore? Because Fox push into the base. The inhibitor is dead, and there's no more frontline left.
Yeah, no one can get immediately bursted down by Energy. Moon does not sync with Impact on that, and the Braum ultimate is not enough to hold people into GBM's ultimate. You could tell they had an idea of what they wanted to do, but so did Echo Fox, so they were able to avoid it. Everyone could dash out of the Gangplank ultimate, and not everyone could be locked down. They clean the second inhibitor, they get 2 kills, and now they turn for Baron.
And this should be a clean Baron right here. No flash is up for Moon. Even Froggen staying on the back lines to help zone people out and do some damage. Toss up the skill shots, walks around. That's the Baron picked up. Nice smite by Hard, and Echo Fox are in pole position to knock down Energy and catch the same number of wins as TIP and Dignitas.
Yeah, as the teleport is channeling is actually when Moon burns his Evelynn ultimate. So you do want the Evelynn ultimate to be the first thing in a fight, but not that much of a first thing. The Barrow Chain only hits the support from GBM on the backside of that fight, and KFO was also a huge distraction because he landed his ultimate onto both the main carries, which is the most important thing to do on the Gangplank, and another beautiful ult from KFO's Malphite.
KFO honestly has been impressing me a whole lot this game. Every single ult looks pretty much perfect. Either Altec flashes away or he gets hit by, he's catching the carries. He's even exercising restraint in he'll wait in the middle of a fight until it's time for a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
he will hold that cooldown until it's the right people.
We compare that to his first week in the LCS where he didn't get a single kill, died 4 times. Like, he's looking like a totally different player.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I got to talk to Echo Fox a little bit about the roster choices. And, you know, I asked once, like, you know, why'd you go for Big, this rookie support? And they said, no, we picked him because he's got room to grow. His attitude's great. Echo Fox picked for the long con. They picked for players that they knew would grow, and they're going into a win right now against Energy.
Yeah, this is looking to be the final push. There's still 2 turrets up, but against 3 marksmen, it can't last very long. Energy would have to do a desperation initiation, which Fox is ready for, and this could be the final fight.
Yeah, ult's come across to kill a couple of minions here, but it doesn't really matter for Echo Fox to have fell all 3 inhibitors. The marksmen are all ready to do some damage. KFO has the ulti. He's there to disrupt. 1 turret remains in the base. That one's gone now. Into the Nexus they go. The final fight. Impact locks up with Ikea. Keith stays alive thanks to Janna. A big barrel chain comes down. It finds nothing. 2 kills picked up as GBM's gone. Conquest the 3rd, moves the 4th. They've got everybody they care about. That's the Nexus. That's the win for Echo Fox.
And Freak, we were talking before the game about how this Echo Fox team was 2-1 coming into this, but it was very easy to discredit because they'd come against sub-squads or teams that hadn't quite been together for very long. But this is a legitimately impressive win.
This is absolutely incredible. At the beginning of the week, Energy is tied for 2nd place. Echo Fox says, that's cute, we'll knock you down a couple of pegs after CLG beats them yesterday, and Echo Fox are now looking like one of these teams to threaten the top half of the standings. They get Liquid next week. That's another team they can knock down in this sort of 4, 5, 6 position to cement themselves as clearly a playoff caliber team in Echo Fox.
Yeah, I mean, we've been through this before with TDK. A team comes in after missing a whole bunch and had a bunch of losses. They win a few, and we're like, they're the best. They're going to win everything. But honestly, we don't know. We have to wait to see more gameplay because this game in particular, while there were numerous missteps on Energy's side, you can't detract from Echo Fox for that, because they still punished and played quite clean on the mistakes and windows that Energy left for them.
Absolutely true. This was just a great game. Taking it a little bit slow at times, the early game sieges, they allowed Energy to defend it, no big risks taken, but when it came down to the team fights, KFO never missed a beat, and the team never missed an opportunity to follow up. And this is a player coming over from Korea with very limited English skills, and this team still looks on the same page. Especially when you contrast to Energy, who are in the same boat, and yet Echo Fox looks so much sharper with the same difficulties to work through, and they've just done it better.
Yeah, and this was another game. You know, we talked about how GBM and Impact have been the ones trying to carry this game, and like we know Impact had a really bad game, but Altec did even less damage than the Maokai, 2 champions in this game. 3,772 damage on Lucian, compared to 25,000 from Froggen on the other side, or if you're looking at Keith, 13,000. So Energy, probably their worst week they've ever had in the LCS.
Yeah.
This is their first 0-2 week. They lost a close game to CLG, but now they have dropped to a team that is currently not slated to be in the playoffs and just got their roster together. So they will have a lot of worrying to do over the week and a lot of improvements.
Absolutely. 2 things here, right, as you mentioned.